Brace yourself, boy.
The Iki Island DLC for Ghost of Tsushima is now out, and if you're wondering if it's worth buying, then yes, absolutely. It's a must-buy if you're a fan of the original game. This DLC is just more of what you liked, but improved with a lot of added quality of life features. In my original review of Ghost of Tsushima, I gave it a 9.5, but the game is now a 10 out of 10. Their New Game Plus mode update a few months ago already made the game a 10 out of 10, but this DLC just cements that. In the story for this DLC, the Eagle tribe sent scouts to poison citizens of Tsushima, and Jin is going straight to the source to stop them, which is on Iki Island. And here you'll learn a lot more about Jin's origins, who his father was, and why he is how he is. The DLC fills in a lot of gaps and answers some questions that were left by the end of the main game, so it's a lot of going back to the past. I have to say the first hour and a half of the DLC is a bit slow, which had me kind of worried that maybe Sucker Punch couldn't replicate what they did for the main game, but after that initial intro, the map opens up and you meet the new set of characters and the game turns fun. So let's talk gameplay. This DLC is more difficult than the main game all across the board. Exploration, combat, and enemy types. If you haven't beaten the main game, finish that first, because if you don't, you won't be able to complete certain missions, but also because, like I said, the difficulty is higher, so you should max out your the upgrades on your armors and swords, because you can't return to Tsushima until you beat the first couple missions once you start this DLC. There are new enemy types which are a lot more aggressive than the Mongols on Tsushima. Most enemies now carry 2 or 3 different weapons, so you'll have to keep switching stances and remembering your combos. So if you're not good at parrying, blocking, and doing the perfect dodge, you're probably gonna die a lot. But I gotta admit, the increased difficulty does make the game a bit more fun. The enemies keep you on your toes by switching weapons often, but also the new shaman enemies give the Mongols a buff that make them also absorb a lot more damage and just attack you relentlessly. When it comes to exploration, in the main game, the ledges you can grab onto, they're different colors, so the path is clear, but on Iki everything is the same color, and some ledges are hidden, so you'll have to take a minute to figure out where you can and can't go. Plus, some ledges will also break away now and you can fall to your death. So yeah, they just made the game a little bit harder, but it's still very much enjoyable. In the main game, you can choose which dialogue lines to say, but it doesn't really make a difference. But in the DLC, however, it does. If you choose to respond aggressively in conversations, it can lead to duels between you and that main character during a cutscene. But if you reply passively, you will avoid that fight. But when the mission is over, you can go back and replay that duel at the same location if you avoided that confrontational route, so that was pretty cool. They've added a whole set of quality of life features exclusive this update, like the saddlebags for your horse. So when you pick up ammo while you're out and about, it goes to your horse. Then whenever you mount this horse, it will refill all the ammo that you used while you were in missions or just doing whatever. There's a new grapple feature allowing you to create new paths and attach to ropes if you jump and fall off, as well as a new targeting system which solved an issue I had with the game initially. There's also some cool Easter eggs if you solve riddles, giving you skins from other PlayStation titles, as well as some new cosmetic items. My favorite thing from this DLC is the new armor set you get from A Mythic Tale. This armor, along with the added difficulty, made me love this DLC. The new armor disables parrying, and you can only perform a perfect parry or a perfect dodge. If you miss, you take more damage, but if you pull off a perfect parry, you can now get 2 to 3 hits uninterrupted. So with this armor, it's high risk, high reward, and it's a lot of fun. I wore this armor since I unlocked it right up until the end of the game. Speaking of the end of the game, this DLC, it's an okay length. It isn't super short or super long. I beat it in 4 to 5 days. It's like 100% completion though, where you unlock everything. But it took me about 3 days to beat the main storyline, and I wasn't rushing through it either. There's new side quests, 2 mythic tales, new archery challenges around the map to upgrade your ranged charms. The new charms you unlock also make gameplay a bit more fun. They started making the charms more useful to enhance gameplay rather than the previous boring ones which just add a higher percentage of something happening. So for example, there's a charm now where throwing a kunai extends your assassination range, and a multi-shot arrow charm, and some other cool ones. The only thing I didn't like about this DLC is the animal sanctuary. You have to use the motion control to keep a dot within the lines to play a song. Kind of felt a bit gimmicky. I thought we left the motion control segments back on the PS3, but other than that, I love this DLC. I could fully recommend it. The Iki Island DLC also comes with a mini art book and an interesting 50-minute interview with the director of the game and a Japanese historian for those of you who like behind the scenes content. This update costs $20 if you own the main game on PS4, and it's definitely worth every dollar. But that's the end of this review. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.